Ernest Langdon here from Langdon Tactical, and I want to run a quick video for you guys and talk a little bit about the practical use or the home defense use of a shotgun. Now, as of late, I've become a pretty big advocate of the shotgun for home defense. The biggest reason for that is the devastating terminal effect of the 12 gauge round. 12 gauge double-aught buck historically has been a very dominant, almost consistent one-shot stopper for a fight. And that's something to be considered very seriously for a home defense weapon. So a lot of people have this misconception that a shotgun, scattergun if you will, is this, death ray that basically sprays out and hits everything in front of it. You still have to aim a shotgun precisely, almost like you would a rifle, depending on the target and the distance. So when we start talking about buckshot, we're talking about a pattern, but it's a relatively small pattern depending on the configuration of your shotgun and the particular type of ammunition that you're using. So let's shoot a couple different shells here for you. To start with, we're going to shoot a regular buckshot. We're about 25 yards from the target, and we're going to see what the pattern looks like, and then we're going to shoot the new flight control. So let's start with the buckshot. We'll go down in a second and take a look at that. Now let's use the flight control. Okay, this is a much tighter pattern typically. There's a special wad in here that really controls the spread of those 9.33 caliber pellets going down range. And we'll see a much tighter pattern at distance. All right, and finally, let's shoot a slug here. I've got a 1 ounce slug. Let's shoot that, see what we get downrange. All right, let's go downrange, take a look at the targets. As you can see, with the regular double-aught buck, I only got 5 pellets on the target at 25, 30 yards or so. So I actually got a few flyers that completely missed the target. If we look at our flight control, almost all of the shots are here in the A zone. So I got all 9 pellets on the target at 25 yards. This is unusual to get these few flyers. Typically when I shoot flight control, I get an even tighter pattern than that. All of them center of the target. All right. And then finally, obviously with the 1 ounce slug here, we've got a center shot here. This is just a piece of wad. It's not going to do anything. Now we're at 15 yards on this one. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, but instead of shooting a slug, we're going to throw in some number 7 bird shot here. So I'm going to shoot. So let's start with the regular buckshot on our left target here. All right. Now let's run the flight control on the middle target. And then finally, we'll run a 7.5 on the far right target. All right, let's go up and take a look and see what we got. Okay guys, so as you can see, much better patterns with the buckshot, both the regular buckshot and the flight control at 15 yards. But you can really see the dramatic difference between the two. Looks like I got all 9 pellets on there with regular buckshot, but you can see how tight the group is with the flight control, and you can see the damage made by the wad from the flight control. It's a pretty large wad that really holds everything together. So understanding your load there, this is obviously going to be a lot more devastating. You can be a lot more precise with your aiming and with that, whereas the double-aught buck gives you a little bit better spread, which you may want depending on what you're trying to do with your shotgun. And then of course the 7.5, you can see you got an impact from the wad there that holds the shot together, but really you're spread out all over the target. Not going to really be a lethal round for you at those kind of distances. So now we're here up at 7 yards. Let's try to do the same 3 shots. I'm just going to use the head box for these because the patterns are going to probably maybe smaller than you might think. Let's start with that regular double-aught buck. Let's put the flight control in there. And then 7.5 shot. All right, I'll take the camera up, let you guys take a close look. As you can see, even with the regular double-aught buck, we've got everything in the head box. Looks like the wad separated and took a chunk out of the shoulder there. Flight control might as well be a slug. Everything's still inside that flight control wad at these distances, so it's going to be super devastating. And as you can see, the number 7.5 stayed together pretty well. May or may not be lethal, but it's probably going to do some pretty serious damage at these close of a distances. So not maybe what you were expecting. A lot of times people think that these shotguns open up into these very, very quick patterns, and they just don't do that. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Shout out to my buddies at Core Performance for my sleeves here, keeping me warm as the temperatures start to drop. Take a look at my video on Core Performance products. You might find that very interesting to you for training in these outdoor extreme elements. You guys train hard, be safe, and we'll see you next time.